Okay, here we go. Video number 3. We're doing a couple of series here. We're going to have a fourth one, which is the big shebang, fourth reason. But right now, we're going to give you a list of a few more red flags to pay attention to if you are dating a widower specifically. Yep. This is super important. As a widow, I understood when I was ready to go out to date that it was a journey. I wasn't immediately looking for love or marriage. God knows I was not. I was dating multiple men. I was trying to stay in my protective bubble. It was painful for me. And I was very clear about that on my bio, by the way.
Yep.
I was a widow moving forward, so I guess that means I'm single. And I was looking for a man who would have compassion and empathy and understanding on that journey. Yeah. So if that's what you're looking for too, these are more red flags for you to pay attention to. If he's not emotionally available. That's a big one.
That's a big one.
That's a big one because women might talk about it more than men. I don't know. But if a man is not willing to talk about his late wife or the experiences he had, he may be the pain of going through it. It's a very good possibility he's not open emotionally. And where does that leave you?
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be about his ex-wife.
Right.
Some men, a lot of men, are very closed off. And if you are wanting to have a deep relationship with somebody where you can talk about anything and everything, if he's not willing to talk about how he feels,
yeah.
But especially when it comes to his loss, that should be a telltale sign you need to be aware of.
Right. And that's a great point. I'm very intuitive, and I needed to be with a man who was going to converse with me about all subjects. Yeah. Now, in this case, I was a widow, but I was open to discussing things with Jeff. In fact, as time went on, I actually forgot that my late husband and my now husband didn't ever meet, because I feel like Jeff knows him so well through my friends, through my family, through stories.
Through videos. Every now and then I'll be like, baby, what are you talking about?
Yeah, Pietro was off the boat Italian. So this was a super important thing. I needed him to be available to me. And, by the way, I asked him about his divorce.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what happened, and I wanted to learn about his children and all the events, right? So this is important. Is that line of communication open?
Yeah.
Because that's super important. If it's not, what makes you think it's going to change? Yeah. That's really where I'm going with this.
And we want to point out there's a huge difference between talking and having dialogue.
Yeah.
Which is meaningful conversation.
Right.
There's a line from Jimmy Stewart I always loved. He says, everybody's talking and no one's saying anything. It's like, yeah.
Go, Jimmy. Yeah, that's right. I like people to say things. Okay, so here we are for that. Now, the other part of this is he even sharing with his family and friends that he's dating?
Yes.
Or that he's dating you? And this is interesting because as I did the research to bring you the utmost wonderful red flags to pay attention to, even though I knew them instinctively, I got validation. I remember when I was dating in my mid-40s, before I met my late husband, I kept feeling like, why are they putting me on their back burner? Why aren't they climbing mountains to scream out about? Aren't I a catch? Like,
she is.
It was my. Thank you, darling. Why was that? And then I started to look inward because that's always super important for me. Always ask myself, what am I doing? What am I presenting? What am I projecting that's allowing them and making them think that I want to be put on the back burner? Okay? And then I started to shift my awareness, my desire, what I was looking for, and everything rolled out differently. That's why I'm extremely intuitive, and I want to help you understand how to send the right message. Yeah. So if you're not meeting the right guys, it's okay. But if you're dating a widower, this may be a flag for you. If they're putting you on the back burner and they're not even telling anybody about you, peace out. Like, you decide. Is that what you want? I don't know. Not me.
No. Well, I was also just sitting here thinking, Donna has said this ever since I've known her. I've heard her say this to countless women. Look, there's a lot of great guys out there.
Yeah.
And you might have met somebody and he's a really nice guy. He just might not be the guy for you.
Right.
So just remember, just because he is this or he's that,
A charmer. He might be really wonderful to go out to dinner. Debonair.
He's got a great car. Takes you out to some nice restaurants.
That's
but when
fun.
you get there, you're sitting there and you notice that when another woman walks by and she's attractive, those eyes will be following and checking her out. Is that what you want?
Right.
You just, Donna says this over. You have to ask yourself, what do you really want?
Right. Right. So now, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, there's a freebie below. Grab it. It's the ABC Secrets. It's the 3 pillars that I use to meet amazing men. But I also use it to know before the 4th date whether to continue or call it quits. And that's what we're talking about here, divas.
Yeah.
We're talking about, is this a gentleman you want to be in a long-term relationship with? And these are the red flags. Now, in our next video, we're going to give you the mic drop version of exactly the last, the final, the big red flag about why he may not be somebody that you want to allow to keep taking you out. Because why continue dating somebody you know is going to a dead end? That's our whole point.
Yeah.
All right?
Well, the last point I was going to bring up, that if he is a widower and he never mentions his late wife, that's also something that should get your attention.
Right.
To me, that says that he's not over her. He's holding it on in. It could be a lot of things, but it's not healthy, mentally healthy, to not be talking about something that's that dramatic, that powerful in your life. That's a huge event in your life.
Yeah.
And you're not ever talking about it, ever.
That's right. I'll tell you, the first man I dated when I got back out there was a widower.
I still want his name.
I don't know if you knew that. He was a widower, and we knew this was uncharted. He was a widower longer than I was a widow. So I learned a lot from him. I was so grateful for him. I think we dated for 3 months. I never met his daughter, which was perfect. I didn't want to go on double dates, which was perfect. I was staying in my protective bubble, which was perfect.
But that's because she was not looking for a long-term relationship.
I was not. I was very clear about that. And we did talk about his wife, his late wife, because I was learning. He'd been maybe 10 years in. Now, we did discover we were not on the same page, but I will tell you the best thing about him was he carried me through the holidays. He helped me. We didn't exchange a card. We didn't exchange gifts. We were not that couple. But he was a friend at that time to help me understand. I remember the very first Christmas Eve, I had the hardest time getting off the couch and going to my late husband's children's house for Christmas Eve.
Understandably so.
It was so painful. It was a tradition we had carried and done for the last 10 years together. And I kept saying I wanted to go and I couldn't get off the couch. And I texted him and I said, I can't get off the couch. And he said, just remember, you are a connection to their father. And they are a connection to you for him. So that helped me get off the couch, and I cried all the way there, and it was painful, but I was so grateful I went. I got to see the grandkids. So we just bringing this all up. Was he the man for me? No, I wasn't looking for a man.
I disagree. He was the man for you at that time.
Oh, you're so right. That's so true. That was good. Yes.
Yeah.
So listen, you're going to catch us in the next video. That's going to we're going to give you the mic drop version of the last red flag to look for as you're dating a widower. But remember, grab the freebie below. My book is below if you want to. By the way, a lot of dating shenanigans. You can't make that stuff up. Grab the book. And we'll see you in the next video. Anything else, baby?
Yes.
What?
Divas. It doesn't have to be that hard.
No, it sure don't.